Hey guys, happy Friday to everyone out there. Wanted to pop in and make a little video. I've got little Miss Lucy Grace here who's doing some playtime on the floor. I'm going to give you an overview of what she looks like. She is very intent on staring down her little toys, her little favorite toys. She loves those stripes and polka dots. They seem to catch her eye really well. So she's very focused, but I wanted to come on and make a video and just kind of chit-chat about a topic that actually Erica Jones made a video, I want to say, I think yesterday, in regards to like silicone doll pricing, or how can we justify or afford spending that amount of money on a silicone doll. So I thought it was a really interesting, great topic, and I just wanted to kind of add to that. So I hope Erica does not mind that I wanted to make a video to chat about it. First off, I want to say, one, I agree with every point she makes in the video. So if you haven't watched the video, I suggest, you highly recommend going and watching it because it's a really great video. And, you know, I've been through and experienced all the things that you're talking about on your video. So people, from the time I've had, expensive silicone dolls, you guys know, if you've followed me for any length of time, I've had several Romy Stridum babies. They are usually at the very top of the market for pricing for full body silicone dolls. And I've had multiples. I've bought directly from the artist, so I paid full price for at least a couple of them. And, you know, many times when I'm sharing videos and showing these dolls, people ask, how much are they? What do they cost? How do I get one? This, that, and the other thing. And there's times where I have not been comfortable sharing the price just because it's an exorbitant amount of money. I stutter. And then there's times I felt comfortable talking about prices, and then, you know, so people got offended when I didn't want to share the pricing, and then when I did share the pricing, people like freaked out, and the comments were, oh my God, that's the equivalent of buying a car. You could have donated that. There's people in need. You could have done this with your money, that with your money. Why would you spend it on a doll? So either way, I felt like I couldn't win in that situation. So it's kind of a tough topic and slightly sensitive to talk about for a lot of collectors because they don't want to get into that back and forth and feeling like people are judging them. So I've experienced that. It doesn't really bother me necessarily. I think it just kind of comes with the territory because, you know, if I were new coming in as a collector now and seeing the prices immediately of some of these dolls, I'd probably be like completely floored and be like, I'd never spend that on a doll. But I've been collecting dolls for a very, very long time. I've collected some form of baby dolls my whole entire life. And when reborns hit the market, they were mostly when I started looking for realistic looking babies is when one-of-a-kinds were very big and reborns had literally just started showing up. And I was intrigued by them. And at the time, my first reborn I purchased was, I think, a little over $100. And when that happened, I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm going to spend this on a doll. Like, that to me seemed like a huge amount of money to spend for a baby doll. But I spent it because I was intrigued and I thought it was cool. And that was back in probably like 1999 or the year 2000. So very, very early on in the reborn hobby, so to speak. And when I got the doll, I was disappointed. It wasn't anything like I thought it was going to be based on the pictures, things like that, you know. But at the time, $100, huge amount of money. I still have that doll. I've actually pulled it out, and I think I compared it to one of my Romy Stridum babies of, like, you know, early reborn to what dolls are now type of thing. And over time, the dolls have gotten better. The quality of the dolls gotten better. The talent level of the artists have gotten gone through the roof, and prices have gone up in comparison, obviously, to follow suit with the better quality, more realistic, all the things we're looking for. And then silicones hit the market. Silicones hit the market and prices went sky high because the cost to make them and the process and the time and effort that an artist takes to make them is, you know, huge compared to just creating a reborn doll. And So I have not always spent that amount of money on a doll. Like, it took me many years of evolving my collection to buy a nicer doll. So every time I'd sell a doll, I'd buy a nicer one. So over time, each time I was getting a new doll, I would upgrade. And each time I'd spend a little bit more. And that's the same with silicone. So even when the full body silicone babies first came onto the market, they weren't nearly as expensive. I think artists, I don't know how they made money off of them, because they just didn't charge enough to cover their costs, barely probably. And so as artists learned, they need to charge more for their services, and or the popularity went up, so the prices went up. Everything goes up. That's just nature of what it is. And now look at us. I've seen ladies fight over getting a spot on a full body silicone list from Rome Stridum. I've seen people hound artists to try to get a doll. Like, I've seen it all. And people are willing to pay a really, really big price for something they fall in love with, for the realism. That's really what draws us to it. And that's always been my goal as a collector, is to find the most realistic, lifelike baby doll. And I'm so fortunate that I have found that so many times over. I've had a lot of beautiful dolls. I don't even want to know what I've spent over the years in doll collecting. It's probably a very, very scary number. But it took me a long time to be okay with spending that amount of money. But I also sold a lot of dolls for my collections in order to bring other dolls home. That's, and I think the advice given in Erica's video is that never say never, and don't limit yourself. Don't say that you don't think you'll ever have a nice doll like this, because, someone posted a comment that, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford a doll like this, yada, yada, yada. I've gotten those as well. And she's right to say that back to the collectors out there that, they might be newer or they might have limited funds. Trust me when I say I was a single mom with 2 kids, and I was collecting dolls. I somehow made it happen. If I want something bad enough, I somehow can manage to make things happen. And it's very true, this saying that where there's a will, there's a way. I find that to be absolutely the case. And I never limit myself. I never say to myself, no, you're never going to be able to afford that. Because ultimately, that's how I am in life. I always think in those types of terms in my life. Like, I never want to limit what I can have in life overall. Same with jobs. Same with finances, things like that. I think it's all how you view things. And if you want something bad enough, I believe you can make it happen. It might take you a little bit longer to save, to have that really amazing dream baby doll that you want, but I think it'll happen in time. It's just a matter of, shuffling things around, or you can do like I did, and, I sold pretty much all of my dolls to bring certain ones home. And I've been very comfortable with that, and it's been very doable because, trust me, there's times where I see a baby that comes out like from either Claire or Romy. Those are the 2 that I tend to migrate towards. The really high-end ones, really expensive ones. And somehow I manage to either sell off dolls and just shuffle money around so that I can somehow bring that doll home. And I've been able to do that. So I want all collectors out there to think that way. You can do it. It may take time and it might not happen immediately, but I think over time, if you learn how to save, to keep your current collection in really good condition so that when you go to resell, that you'll get, the most amount of money back out of the doll that you currently have. That's why I'm always I don't want to say I'm preaching, but I'm always sharing with you that I don't overhandle my dolls. I try very hard not to, because I want to keep them in pristine condition, because I know that this hobby brings forth us to buy and sell a lot of dolls. And if you're still seeking out that one perfect doll, or those few perfect dolls that are dream dolls for you, and if you have to sell some in your current collection in order to bring them home, you want to make sure they're in really good condition so you can get the most money back out of them to put towards that new doll that you want. So those are things that I always keep in mind as a collector, because I know how I am. I know that if tomorrow Clara comes out with this brand new full body silicone baby that just literally tugs at my heartstrings that I'm going to have to move mountains perhaps in order to bring that doll home. So if I have to sell one that I currently have, it better be in really great condition so that I don't have any issues trying to recoup my money out of it. Because that's just how I know I am as a collector. So those are just some tips. Erica, I think this is such a wonderful topic of discussion. I honestly feel like I could chat about it for hours. Because there's so much that we don't talk about and don't discuss. And I think at some point in time, it's always good to discuss these things and put it out there, especially the more collectors that keep coming into this hobby, new collectors especially, that just don't get how we've arrived at these prices for dolls. I mean, it's so overwhelming, the amount of dolls out there now compared to back when I first started collecting. I had time to kind of evolve with and watch it grow. But being a new collector coming into this hobby, gosh, there's so much to learn. So I do like to share the information if I can. I think it's really helpful for people, but I just don't want collectors to ever limit themselves. And so I wanted to put that out there. So if you haven't watched Erica's video, please go check out her channel. She's got amazing, really great chats and topics on her channel. I really love listening to her. I actually was listening to this video while I was on my lunch break this afternoon, and it was just really peaceful and calm, and it was a nice break in my day, and I just really enjoyed it. So there you go, guys. There is Miss Lucy Grace, looking so cute. I love this baby, and I'll tell you, it would have to be an amazing doll for me to sell this one. It's just, I've been very content with her. I've been thrilled with her. I feel so lucky still to have her. I know I keep saying it, but I really, truly feel like I have my absolute dream baby for right now. Like I said, I never say never because you never know what comes out next, but I do love this baby. And she is very much enjoying her toys. So I hope everybody's having a really great start to their weekend. It's Friday night. Yay! It's like the best night of the week because you know you got the whole weekend ahead of you. I'm very happy to have my night to myself. So I hope you all have a great night. And Lucy and I will see you very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.